Hello everyone, Rorius here, back with Portal 2 developer commentary, second episode today. Fingers crossed I get this episode out after a couple of hours. So yeah, we're picking up exactly where we left off a moment ago with we were playing Chapter 6, we're now playing Chapter 7. Yeah, so this is continuing on from the last chapter where we found GLaDOS in potato form, the potatoes. Although I don't know how a disk can operate inside a... actually, no, there's no D in potatoes, is there? So it's not a disk operating system, it's just a potato operating system. Nevertheless, we'll continue and we'll learn a lot more about GLaDOS and about her origins, which I very much, practically my favorite part of the entire game, this chapter. As we see Cave Johnson's madness, and we see GLaDOS's, we see Carolyn's revival through GLaDOS.
Did anything happen while I was out?
Yeah. The testing area is just up ahead. The quicker you get through, the quicker you'll get your $60. Carolyn, are the compensation vouchers ready?
Yes, sir, Mr. Johnson. Why did I just... Who is that? What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, she exerts her little brain. Oh. Trying to, like, her reaction, like, it's almost like it's a memory that's faint somewhere in her systems, in her databases. And the retrieval of that information and the, yes sir, Mr. Johnson, it's like a flashback or a reflection of a memory that she has in there somewhere. And the fact that it sort of comes out when she hears Cave Johnson's voice and her own voice, it gets me all choked up.
The character of Carolyn came about because we wanted somebody for Cave to play off of. Though we had originally envisioned a put-upon scientist character called Greg, it would have been wasteful to hire an actor for just 1 or 2 lines. Instead, we hit upon the idea of economizing by using GLaDOS actor Ellen McLean. Out of nowhere, we suddenly had an opportunity for a GLaDOS origin story. Yeah,
I mentioned that in the previous episode. I think that's the sort of stumbling upon that idea is amazing. It's one of those, like, one of the best, in my opinion, the best aspects of the story of this game. And it was completely out of accident, you know, it's completely out of the blue. Having Carolyn, like a voiced female character to go along with Cave Johnson. Yeah, I think he said enough. I don't need to ramble any further. It gets me choked up every time. Origin stories like this always get me, eh? They always get me. I always try and jump at the end of those, even though you don't need to. There we go. Yeah. Yep. This is to force you to get the box without having a portal on the surface, on the paint area, so you have to pull your way back. I love that the music that plays in this whole chapter, or at least in this test chamber, is my absolute favorite of the whole game. I think it's what the hell's it called? It might just be called The Reunion. Like, I think it might be named after the chapter, or the chapter might be named after the song. We don't know. But this music, if we just listen to it for a second. I actually think it's a fantastic reflection of, like, Cave Johnson's deterioration and his madness. We'll get a lot of examples of that very soon. I think it's fantastic. One of my favorite parts of this whole... my favorite section of the entire game, basically. Oh god, it's so easy to fly off the edge of this. But yeah, that was the only node in this section, isn't it?
The character...
Yeah, that's disappointing. Because it's a really good section.
Emotional outbursts require more than 1.6 volts.
Yeah, 1.6. I was right.
We just need to relax. We're still going to find out what the hell's going on here, but calmly.
Yeah. Yeah. I was right, 1.6 volts. I think I said that in the last episode.
In the portrait, they look so familiar.
Yeah. Aw. It's Carolyn. I don't know if this is another employee at Valve or not, but yeah. Oh, it's Carolyn. I had this meta idea, well, not meta. I had this theory. It went along with the idea of Shell being a young girl when Aperture Science got destroyed. One of the theories that actually a friend of mine also came to by his own thoughts, was that because you're the one who survives, you along with Carolyn essentially are the ones who have survived, and Cave Johnson is the next most major character in the world of Aperture Science. And because Carolyn and Cave Johnson were so close, me and a friend of mine both individually came to the conclusion that perhaps, it's never explored I don't think, but perhaps Cave Johnson and Carolyn are your father and mother. Yeah, perhaps you are the daughter, because you were at the Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. Perhaps you were a daughter of Carolyn, Cave Johnson and Carolyn. I feel like that would be, in many ways, I feel like that would be poignant and perfect, but also it could detract from the story. So I can understand why they wouldn't want that to be the case, but I love that idea. I think that's yeah, once again, a very fan theory kind of idea, but still, it's like fan fiction, but still, I love that idea. Yeah, it's just interesting that both a friend of mine and myself came to that conclusion. Oh wait, no. Don't think I need a portal layer just yet. Alrighty, so this is the... I don't think there was any... Oh, wait, is this a new level? I have a feeling there's no new nodes. No, that's right, I have to go up here, don't I? Put a portal there, so we can get back, and then we can place a portal there, and we've solved the puzzle. Another place where there's a little catapult.
Astronaut, war hero, and/or Olympian.
And or Olympian.
We're gonna change the world. This on?
It's an old pre-recorded message. This is the new one.
An elevator, not a bathroom.
Oh.
I swear I know him.
Yeah. Cave Johnson, like the original pre-recorded message was for the old Aperture, where it's thank you, athlete, astronaut, or but then the new pre-recorded message takes over, and it's just hobos, it's homeless people.
If you're interested in an additional $60, flag down a test associate and let them know. You could walk out of here with 120 weighing down your bindle if you let us take you apart, put some science stuff in you, then put you back together. Good as new.
If you're a homeless person, it's probably worth it. But who knows what they'd what they'd do with you if you allowed that. Yep.
Propulsion gel carried over almost exactly the same as the speed paint in the student game. Tag
Definitely.
the power of paint, except that it is slightly more than twice as fast. Propulsion gel combined
Interesting.
well with the existing mechanics of Portal, such as flinging, and it also went well with the repulsion gel for long jumps. We had to tweak the player's control on propulsion gel to feel right in the Portal universe, and also added a slight funneling effect to help guide the player when they're speeding into a portal.
Yeah, actually, that is something that comes up a lot in actually a lot of the aspects of this game. There's a lot of places where they essentially had to... Oh, that's right. I knew there was another area where you needed the orange paint. Okay. And then after that one, there's one more place. Isn't there? Or am I... No, I think that's it. I think I've painted everything I need to paint. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of funneling effects that they added into this game. In the original Portal, there was very, very minor funneling that happened whenever you would fly towards a portal. It would try and orient you a little bit towards the middle of the portal. In this game, they extended it to boxes, paint, any objects that are flying that need to fly through portals properly. They added funneling. They also reduced the size of the cube to be a lot smaller so it fit into the portal a lot. One of the things you would notice with Portal 1, a lot of people playing it, is that there's a lot of cases where people place a portal underneath a box, and the box gets caught on opposite ends of its opposite corners of itself, and it would sit there like a wheel spinning, not able to actually, or rotating a bit, unable to fall through the portal because it was too big to fall through in that state. So they reduced the size of the cube. That never happens in Portal 2. And they added the extra funneling so that it would fall through properly. And they also added the funneling to the gel, and they also increased the intensity of the funneling on the player, because the player would funnel originally, but in this game they made it almost if you look at the portal as you're falling, you'll move sort of unnaturally a little bit towards the portal, but you'll also never, you can't actually get, if you look away from the portal, you can move out of the portal's way to land next to it, but if you look down, you actually can't move out of the portal's way because you're forced to funnel straight into the portal. But that's with the intention that most people, there's another example of a catapult in action suddenly speed up very rapidly. But yeah, so basically there's a lot of extra funneling that they added because it just made for more purposeful, I want to say purposeful, sort of feeling of flinging, basically. Without the funneling, sometimes you can make little mistakes, like you'll accidentally bump into something or you'll not quite hit the portal. Like, even the funneling even happens when you're running with paint towards the portal, like that. If you're running towards the portal on the paint, you get funneled very slightly towards the portal. Because if you don't have the funneling, which is actually something that happens in Portal Unity, we didn't have any funneling, forced funneling at all for our conveyor belt system that we had. That's a bit like propulsion gel. And so what would see, my character actually moves. If I'm aimed at the side of the portal, my character actually tries to move towards the portal to try and get into it. See? I didn't move sideways at all in that scene. But unfortunately, because we didn't have any way of implementing, well, we didn't think to implement a funnel, the conveyor belt sections of our mod are quite buggy because it's very hard to actually get through the portal properly. You bump the sides of it a lot. But yeah, anyway, let's finish this puzzle.
In case you're interested, there's still some positions available for that bonus opportunity I mentioned earlier. Again, all you gotta do is let us disassemble you. We're not banging rocks together here. We know how to put a man back together. So, that's a complete reassembly. New vitals, spit shine on the old ones, plus we're scooping out tumors.
Scooping out
Frankly,
tumors.
you ought to be paying us.
I love that. And that's actually a repurposed line from one of the, well, actually, no, one of the trailers has a repurposed line along those same lines. That we're not banging rocks together here. in the trailer video of, it was for the, is it for the portal gun? I think it's for the long fall boots, but it's talking about portal gun. We're not banging rocks together here. We know how to make a quantum tunneling device.
I can't believe I'm thanking these people. For staggering your way through Aperture Science's propulsion gel testing, you've made some real contributions to society for a change, and for that, humanity is grateful. If you have
He's so
any
sarcastic.
belongings, please pick them up now. We don't want old newspapers and sticks cluttering up the building. For many of you, I realize $60 is an unprecedented windfall, so don't go spending it all on, I don't know, Carolyn, what do these people buy? Tattered hats? Beard dirt?
Oh, dear. All forms must be filled out legibly and completely before eligible to receive payment of $60. The poor homeless people that that they're now hiring. Alrighty, just before we go anywhere, I'm just checking. No, nothing around here. Cool. Yeah, so we're heading towards Pump Station Gamma now. Right, so this is where you come out. This is the, so I placed the portal up here before because I was like, what's up there? Before we move on, there's another one of these, I think. Nope, or is it above me? Wait 1 second. Actually, that might be later on. That might be for later on.
Carolyn,
Yep.
Carolyn, why do I know this woman?
Did I kill her?
Oh my god. Look, you're doing a great job. Can you handle things for yourself for a while? I need to think.
With the small processing power that she has remaining, she sort of does what she can to process the information she's getting. Yep, okay, so for now we just move her along here. So now, yeah, basically the pump stations below are functional, but none of these are currently. And so now we're activating a continued pump from the alpha station, so that, see, alpha station pumps to the beta station. The beta station pumps both alpha and beta gels to the gamma station, and now we're activating all 3 of the pumps in this station to pump all 3 of the gels up further. Naturally, there's some damage that's happening here because the facility above has had its toll over the years on the has had its toll on this lower facility. One thing I will mention, I noticed, is that they dulled down the color of the portal gel a lot. This gel used to be really bright white, and they changed it to a much grayer white in the final in sort of randomly. It wasn't. I think it was at the addition of the new co-op maps that they added. Yeah, when they first released the game and up to was it the first DLC? I feel like were there 2 DLCs? I think it might have been 2 DLCs. Yeah, I think there were 2 DLC map packs that they released for the co-op campaign. Up to the end of the first DLC, that paint, I actually have a picture of it somewhere, a screenshot of it. I might include it now. Yeah, that screenshot that you'll see, actually I'll probably put both the screenshots side by side, I took a screenshot of this one particular location. I happened to take it for some random reason. I think it was because I coated the whole area in paint, and so I was like marveling at my wonderment of covering the whole area in white paint. Well, this screenshot, I was so glad that I took that screenshot, because later on I looked at the paint and I thought, this paint looks duller than I remember it being. And so I suddenly realized that I had this picture. And so what I did is I recreated it. I covered the whole area in gel again and took a screenshot from the exact same place that the old screenshot had been taken from. And so now I have these 2 screenshots that are almost identically placed, and they show the difference in color. And it's quite vastly different. It's kind of disappointing. I liked how bright white and pure the white gel was, but what are you gonna do? I don't know if that was intentional or not, but yeah, so we're heading towards later aperture again. So, Carla the complainer says, "My new boss is a robot. But did you know, robots are smarter than you, robots work harder than you, robots are better than you. Volunteer for testing today." They'd started employing androids as workers. The bird. I love the whole bird stuff. Good for him. Good for him. Yeah. Actually, there's a bunch of... I love this puzzle that it utilizes the gel in multiple ways. Oh, there's a vitrified chamber down there I didn't see before. I think. I'll portal back to it.
Welcome to the Enrichment Center. Since making test participation mandatory for all employees, the quality of our test subjects has risen dramatically. Employee retention, however, has not. As a result, you may have heard we're going to phase out human testing. There's still a few things left to wrap up, though. The bean counters told me we literally could not afford to buy $7 worth of moon rocks, much less 70 million. Bought them anyway, ground them up, mixed them into a gel. And guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill. Still, it turns out they're a great portal conductor. So now, we're going to see if jumping in and out of these new portals can somehow leach the lunar poison out of a man's bloodstream. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah.
Let's all stay positive and do some science.
Yeah.
That said, I would really appreciate it if you could test as fast as possible. Carolyn, please bring me more pain pills.
Yeah. So yeah, now the offices look really drab and dull, and they're made of plastic and sort of plain metal and stuff like that. They don't look nearly as fantastic as they used to. And yeah, Cave Johnson's looking a lot sicker and older. Yeah. We'll just quickly listen to this vitrified. Oh, there's no dialogue for this one. Combination testing area. Oh, no, combatation. Combatant? Combatant? Batatin. I have no idea what that's saying. Whatever. Yeah, so... Yeah, unfortunately, Cave Johnson... Supposedly the white gel makes you sick. And so, despite getting coated in it later on, Shell does not apparently get sick, but we don't know that. But yeah, they started using the... Instead of hiring hobos, they started using the scientists themselves to test, which is hugely unethical and bad for actual science. They're on a downward spiral. They've lost all ability to function properly. Please do not test if you're allergic to lunar sediment or starch. You have fulfilled your monthly self-test election quota, or you are confident enough in your work performance to unvolunteer from this test self-election process. Oh dear. That's surely gonna work well. Oh dear. So yeah, this is when it truly does appear that things are starting to fall apart. Things are really starting to look grim. And Cave Johnson's madness intensifies.
Portal Paint was the last paint we added to the game, and for a long time we weren't sure of the best way to use it. We experimented with the delivery method and found that it was most effective when it was deployed in large quantities. Another important factor was the angle of application. Dropping the paint at an angle allowed the player to play more freely with the paint, which gave them the liberating feeling of breaking the rules by being able to place portals where they couldn't before.
Yeah, so exactly that. This chamber is like it's basically just like a playground for the use of this gel, and exactly as he said, like it's just the way that just having a lot of it and being able to use it as much as you want, essentially in a large space environment, definitely has the best feeling for when it comes to paint.
The first implementation of the blob was integrated in the Source engine back in 2007. Over the years, the code has been significantly optimized, but was still way too slow to run on game consoles. The blob was a key feature of Portal 2, even though we didn't know if it could make it work for consoles. In summer 2010, we were still considering using completely different tech for consoles. One that will certainly not look as nice. On the 360, even with a very low quality blob, we were barely within a performance budget.
Yeah.
But we really wanted to have the same high quality blob among all platforms. Meanwhile, the code was poorly suited for PS3 SPU. We ended up rewriting all the blob code, so it would take better advantage of multiple cores on SPUs, giving us quality blobs on all platforms while staying within performance and memory constraints.
Yeah, actually, the first computer I played Portal 2 on could not render this very well. It had real difficulty rendering the blobs. I think I only had it on medium to low level blob processing, essentially. But yeah, this is the level. This is the space where I basically coated the entire map in white gel, and I compared what the gel originally looked like. So you look at the blobs of gel; they're very white. If you look at the gel emitter thing and the gel coming out, it's very white. But then you look at the surfaces that the gel's going onto, and it's really quite dull by comparison. Look how grey it looks. I don't know, it's kind of disappointing. I love the really white, bright white look, because it goes well with the rest of the chambers where portal placement is allowed. You know, the whole very white look was part of what made the portalable surfaces so vivid and understood. This puzzle actually took me ages to figure out. I didn't realize you were supposed to do this for a long time. I don't know why it took me so long to figure this one out. I guess I wasn't used to the kind of freedom that this gel gives you. Yeah, so I'll just place Portal up there. Yeah. And then, did I remember? Yeah, I did do that. Good. Do I have enough space? I think I have enough space. Yeah.
Alright, I've been thinking. When life gives you lemons,
Don't make lemonade.
Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Think life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down
with the lemons.
I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible
Combustible
lemon
lemon.
that burns your house down.
People, he says what we're all thinking.
The point is, if we can store music on a compact disc, why can't we store a man's intelligence and personality on one? So I have the engineers figuring that out now. Brain mapping, artificial intelligence. We should have been working on it 30 years ago. I will say this, and I'm gonna say it on tape so everybody hears it 100 times a day. If I die before you people can pour me into a computer, I want Carolyn to run this place.
Oh.
Now she'll argue. She'll say she can't. She's modest like that, but you make her. Hell, put her in my computer. I don't care. All right, test's over. You can head on back to your desk.
Goodbye, sir.
No. That was the only node, wasn't it? The last node? Yep, cool. Yeah. Oh. Carolyn, like, despite how insane Cave Johnson really is, you can really tell that GLaDOS or Carolyn by extension GLaDOS, really did care for him, really did love him, basically. Yeah. I'm just gonna skip right all the way up, because we've already got all the nodes for this map. So, is this the top? No, it's not. Not quite. I think there's an important one up there. Oh god. Oh god, I nearly fell down. Oh, I would have only fell a short distance. It's all good. There we go. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot left now. Oh god. Of this map. Of these chambers. That's right, I remember what I'm doing now. I was like, what am I doing? You don't have to do that, but that's probably the fastest way to solve that puzzle, is to do it the same way as that old fling puzzle in Portal 1. Fling up, place a portal, fling up, place a portal, fling up. Okay.
I know things look bleak, but that crazy man down there was right.
That crazy man.
Take these lemons.
Yeah.
We are going to march right back upstairs and make him put me back in my body. And he'll probably kill us because he's incredibly powerful and
We
I
have no plan.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. The odds are 1,000,000 to 1, and that's with some generous rounding. Still, though, let's get mad. If we're going to explode, let's at least explode with some dignity.
Yeah, I love that Cave Johnson, despite him being insane, he's the inspiration for Carolyn, essentially. He's the inspiration for GLaDOS. He inspires her to not accept what she's given and to question things. I love that. I love the Carolyn Cave Johnson relationship. Alrighty, let's do this. Oh god. There we go. For a second there I thought I was gonna miss it. Yeah. I love those kind of back and forth jumps like that. Oh, can I jump from here? Nope. Okay, we'll just go down here. So I think you gotta go. Whee! Come on, there we go. Funnel activated. There we go. I'm like modest and I just land first and then go through the portal. Oh, a node. Yes. I get so caught up in the game, I just start loving the game and then... Okay.
With the gel sounds for Portal 2, we wanted to create something whimsical that would add to the player's enjoyment of the mechanics.
Yeah, that's right.
Without crossing over the line into ludicrousness.
Yeah.
For example, our initial pass at the blue gel bounce sound included a rubber playground ball, a pitch-bent harp string, and a processed mouth harp. The resulting sound captured the idea of fun, but was off the charts on the goofy scale.
Yeah.
After several iterations, we settled on the current, less over-the-top sound, which features a piece of metal bar bouncing like a diving board, and a heavy dose of synthesis. It's not as wacky, but hopefully, it's still fun.
Yeah. So yeah, the processes they went through when they were developing this sound, like that, yeah. They wanted it to sound a bit fun, but not too fun. Not too fun. Right, I forgot I gotta do this first. Gotta do that first, and then you can. Do I do this? I think I might do this. Just for. I don't know why I did that. Alrighty. Because I'm gonna orangify it. That's plenty. Don't really need any more. And then I think I placed that up there. Oh god, it can't place in the center. That's alright. That should still work. Oh god. I saved it at the last minute. Okay, so yeah, this is where you gotta go like this. Get that up there, and then you place that there, and oh no, it's there. There we go. Cool. And then let's do it again. Essentially. Yeah, let's just do what I was gonna do. So yeah, I forget that it's not the bottom part that you gotta do it, because it's blue paint. You gotta go through like that. Bounce. Here's some more oh, I went through that pipe. Some more catapults in action. There's a lot of catapults where you wouldn't think there'd be catapults. Now that's actually a clever thing they did there. They made you have to place a portal where the blobs are, just so that you've got the blobs coming through already, because then you immediately have to use it. Is it here? Yeah, there we go. This is cool. I love this. You shoot it into the vents, and it essentially clogs up the vents with white paint, and it makes it launch it everywhere. Alrighty. Cool. Oh god. This part always disorients me. I know they put all these like labels around to try and help you, but I always feel like I'm moving just forward, but I'm moving up as well. This bit's weird. There we go. Yep. Cool. Alrighty. Now, yeah, see, the tubes don't actually reach. This is the barrier between old and new aperture. Another barrier like the one we saw earlier. But the pipes, the tubes that take the gel around, don't actually reach new aperture, and we are gonna have to connect them. So where am I going? I always forget where I'm going in this bit, just because it's such a vast open room. If you follow the pathways, it eventually takes you to places that showcase where you're going. I have a feeling I missed some of the vitrified chambers, but that's all good. The focus wasn't to try and find them. I knew you were supposed to place one up there. Ah, and perfect. I had arrived right at my destination.
Wait, I've got an idea.
Oh, the sign.
Poster. Go look at it for a second, would you? Paradoxes. No AI can resist thinking about them. I know how we can beat him.
Yeah. So somehow GLaDOS tries to memorize these statements and not analyze them at all. Maybe because of her reduced, computing power, she's able to not actually process them and put them aside. But yeah, this is they tried to go for this classic but ridiculous idea that an AI would get stuck. If you're truly a super advanced AI, surely you wouldn't get stuck on this kind of stuff. But yeah, stand still, remain calm, scream one of these phrases in the event of rogue AI. This statement is false. New mission, refuse this mission. Does a set of all sets contain itself? Those are actually, does a set of all sets contain itself is an interesting mathematical thing that you will learn if you do maths at university. You might even learn it at school. I don't know how advanced maths is now. But yeah, in some cases, yes, a set of all sets does contain itself. Only if you can allow infinites as an object in mathematics. Yeah, I should be focusing up here. Yeah, I love this scene. I love all these large door scenes. And once again, they play with that idea that, oh, and here's the tubes connecting the gel to the upper chambers. I also love the idea that this is just this little tiny platform that's lowered for you. Alrighty, let's move over to where that is. Oh, whoops. I always go to this higher one for some reason. It's the lower one that I'm needing to go to. There we go. Yeah, so now the tubes, the pumps are now connected.
I'll fry every circuit in that little idiot's head. As long as I don't listen to what I'm saying, I should be okay.
Probably. She's hoping. Fingers crossed. But I mean, in my mind, if she's able to remember it, you know, to memorize it without processing it, then of course she's gonna be able to say it. Yeah, I actually love this whole area. This area is massive. It goes on for ages. This little area, almost none of it you can see. But the little the springs, but the idea that the whole upper chamber is supported on a huge platform that separates old and new aperture. I think it's really cool.
Still, it's a better plan than exploding. Marginally.
Marginally. Yeah, and potentially the lowest elevator in the new aperture. Okay. So, we've got through all of the old aperture. So that's, yeah, I just earlier covered chapter 6, now we're covered chapter 7. So we've only got the 2 chapters left. Which I'll probably do the same deal as this time, where I'm going to do the 2 episodes in the one day. And that's it. That'll be all of the Portal 2 developer commentary. But yeah, we're done for today. We'll pick up right from here next time. If you like what you saw, hit like. If you want to see more of mine, more of the series, or other gameplay videos, development videos, whatever, then hit subscribe. That way you can keep up with all of my videos that I upload. Keep up with everything that I do. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and as always,